Kristy's family has a rule. No girlfriends are allowed in the house when the adults aren't around. Charlie bypasses this rule by making out with girls in his car. Yes, Charlie Thomas, the Babysitters Club chauffeur, has an actual girlfriend willing to kiss him. I couldn't believe it myself.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
This book was written by Peter Larangis. Kristy's brother David Michael complains their basketball is flat. This gives Kristy one of her trademark great ideas. What if they make a book of world records? Not normal world records, wacky world records, like most free throws with a deflated ball, fastest singing, and farthest Twinkie toss. Encyclopedia Brown already did a wacky record book. Several of them, in fact. You're a little late to the party, Kristy. Kristy thinks it sounds funny when Bart introduces her as his girlfriend. I'm not sure why she thinks it's weird. Haven't they been dating each other for 70 books now? They go to the movies together, and he kisses her during a kissing scene. That's fine. But then he kisses her during the big action scene, and hello, Kristy wants to watch the movie. Then she gets confused about whether or not to shut her eyes while kissing, and she thinks it's uncomfortable when Bart has his arm on her shoulder. Basically, it's awkward times all around because neither Kristy nor Bart have any idea what they're doing. Clearly, they need some help from Claudia, the love doctor. In the subplot, the neighborhood kids try to set wacky world records. They are chaotic and scream a lot. I thought this was the worst part of the book. Yeah, there are some funny parts, but it's very repetitive. You know how every book seems to have a chapter where the Pike kids are wild? All 7 chapters of the subplot are that, just like that. And yes, the world record subplot is 7 chapters long. I think it's a touch longer than the main plot of Kristy's relationship drama. The fact that it's much longer than normal makes the repetition in the subplot all the more painful. Kristy and Bart practice baseball together, and again he awkwardly tries to rest his hand on her shoulder, but all she can think about is how his fingers look like mini bananas from this angle. Of course, that's the scene on the cover. Kristy says he should join the Babysitters Club, like Logan. Bart says no, Logan's only in the club because his girlfriend is a member. Huh? What's that supposed to mean, Bart? Your girlfriend is a club member too. Kristy gets jealous when she sees how Marianne and Logan are close without any awkwardness. I have to say, it's unfair to compare Bart to Logan because Logan is the most perfect boyfriend ever. Kristy babysits her siblings. After they go to bed, Bart stops by unannounced. He and Kristy watch a baseball game together, and they start kissing during commercials. Here's what Kristy says about it.
Bart kind of cradled my face with his hands. That felt nice, and he wasn't bruising my face the way he did at the movie. His lips were cool and sweet from the soda, but I was beginning to run out of breath, so I pulled away.
Kristy thinks kissing is fun, and that's when her parents walk in. Yep, she is caught making out with her boyfriend while her parents are gone. I'm surprised Kristy doesn't kick herself out of the Babysitters Club over this. As punishment, Kristy isn't allowed to leave her room all weekend. Kristy tries different ways to get around this punishment. She calls Abby, she talks to people through her window, she writes notes, and so on. Mom catches her every single time. If I was Kristy's parent, I would extend her punishment by an extra day. She clearly doesn't understand how being grounded works. Kristy alternates between wanting to kill Bart and describing her boredom in humorous ways. When her punishment is over, Kristy yells at Bart and officially breaks up with him. She instantly regrets it and can't understand why she misses him so much. Kristy cries and tells Marianne the whole story. Marianne says it sounds like Kristy isn't ready for her boyfriend yet, and that's okay. She doesn't have to start dating just because all of her friends are into boys. Different kids mature at different times, and nobody should be forced to do anything they don't want to do. Wise words from Marianne. This section feels a bit like a public service announcement for middle school readers, but it's still good. The kids do a show to demonstrate their wacky records. They do it on Saturday, which is the only day Marianne's lawn is free. It sounds like her lawn has a more active social calendar than she does. What, does Mr. Spear have croquet matches planned every other day this week? Kristy tells Bart she wants to go back to being friends, without remembering that, in their case, just friends means they occasionally go out on dates and kiss. She's taken by complete surprise when Bart takes another girl to an April Fool's Day dance. Clearly, Bart should have just said, "Oh, April Fools! I'm not actually going with anybody else, haha!" But no, Kristy gets furious with him. She goes on a rant at a BSC meeting, and her friends remind her Bart has feelings too. Oh, he does? Bart tells his side of the story. He says he started kissing Kristy because she's a girl who hangs out with him a lot, not because he's actually attracted to her. Wow, Bart, you really know how to make a girl feel special, don't you? At some point, things changed, and kissing Kristy became the activity Bart most wants to do with her. He doesn't know why, but I do. It's called puberty. And as we know from other books, Kristy hasn't started puberty yet. Kristy and Bart go back to the status quo. Although they hang out slightly less, sometimes she feels funny when she thinks about Bart or kissing, but she ignores those feelings until they go away. The end. Post-book follow-up. I liked this book. The author does a good job of portraying Kristy's confused feelings and emotions. Some reviewers thought it was too confused, and they complained this book is a jumbled mess. On the contrary, I found it to be realistic that Kristy and Bart are a little confused and inconsistent. In real life, relationships can be messy like that. Also, it's interesting to see Kristy operating outside of her comfort zone. I have a used copy of this book with the end papers filled out. The former owner writes that Kyle dumped her and regretted it. What a loser! Corey sounds like a much better boyfriend. In a babysitting chapter, Stacy gets stuck watching 8 kids by herself. That's when Mrs. Prezioso and Mrs. Newton arrive. Instead of helping, they drop off their 4-year-olds and leave. Wow, they are huge jerks. Stacy is clearly swamped, and all they can think about is free babysitting. Whoa! Overall, it's a good book which captures the awkwardness of first-time relationships. Also, great title! I would give it a high score, except literally half the book is a bad subplot about kids setting world records and putting on yet another performance in Marianne's barn. I'm gonna say the two plotlines cancel each other out and give the book the average score. Like at Babysitter's Club number 95, Kristy plus Bart equals ? A 5 out of 10.